G'day Jafffa Adventures, Terry King here. Welcome to the channel. In the opening episode of this series, we met Jeff, the owner of the Suzuki Stockman LJ81, and I secretly hatched a plan to restore this car while Jeff could focus on his health. Check out that episode for the backstory on this car and the teardown. In this episode, I get stuck into the restoration proper. Now, if you're here for a step-by-step how-to on how to restore a Suzuki Stockman, this is not the place for you. Bugger off. Now, if you're here because you're a lover of cars and a lover of a heartwarming story, this is the series for you. So jump on board and let's discover some problems with this car and find some solutions together. Stick around. This assembly sheet is now fully completed. It's time now to move over to my restoration list. And the first thing I'm going to tackle are these rust repairs. Now this little sucker has got me the most concerned out of all of them actually, because we've got a double-walled skin here, and there's actually a couple of holes in this back wall as well as in this front wall. And here on the bottom, it feels to me like it's full of rust as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this out. I'm going to chop that piece out of there and just see how far that cancer goes. Okay, there's my little cut. And what I've tried to do is steer clear the edges here as much as I can so I don't have to worry about doing these bends. So let me get my cutting disc. I'll chop that out of there. And in behind there, we'll see whether it's worse than what it looks to be like. Okay, let's go digging for gold. That's all right. That's what I was concerned about. Have a look at all of that. Okay, assessing the damage. Now, this is the actual curvature of the panel behind here. So I thought that was a pileup of rust, but it isn't. The panel just runs straight down and then curves. But this back panel has 1, 2, 3, 4 small pits in it. So what I'll do is I'll make these 4 holes up, and then I'll treat this entire area with some rust preventative before welding on a patch panel over this skin. That's the tricky thing with these double skins, hey? You can get this bloody water that sits between them and rots the one out from the inside. All right, those little holes are all welded up now. I'll grind those down and treat this entire back panel with some rust preventative before welding a patch panel over top of that. Okay, I can't get a grinding disc in there, unfortunately. That patch panel's just too small, so I got a die grinder, and I'll just take the tops of these welds off of the die grinder. You know, as I'm repairing this, I'm going along thinking how water could get back in there to actually cause that to rust. And if I blow air in here, no air really comes out of there. So it's not getting through this little gap to here. But then I realized there was the holes in the roof. And if I blow air in the hole in the roof, air's coming out of there. So that just goes to show how one thing can lead to another. Hole in the roof, leaked through the roof, down this pillar, sitting there, rotted out. Far out. Rotten bloody cascade of events, hey? All right, I got myself some rust converter. Just gonna spray it in there. Try to get it up in there as far as I can. Down there as far as I can. I'll wipe off the excess off this panel. Now I got to thinking, as you do when you're working on these things, I'm going to cut this hole out and patch this next before I go ahead and patch that one on the B pillar. And the reason for that is, when I'm cutting this out, rust and shit, if there is rust and shit behind here, it's gonna fall down to where that patch panel is, and I'll be able to fish it out of there. If I close that one up by welding up the B pillar and then repair this, and rust and shit falls down there, that's where it's gonna sit, and eventually it's just gonna grow, because that's what rust does. It's alive. It's alive. So let me chop that out. I've had to scale down the size of my choppy cutty disc because these patch panels are so small. And on this vertical one, I'm not actually going to be able to cut that because it's going to hit this drip rail. So I'll do my 2 horizontal ones. And while I'm cutting that, I'm going to be thinking, how am I going to do those? I came up with a solution. Quite proud of my brain. I've got a little Dremel cutoff wheel here, and it's teeny tiny, so it'll actually fit in there without hitting this drip edge, if I'm careful. Good brain, well done. Excellent. Look at that. Didn't even touch the drip rail. And looking inside of there, it's not rusty. It's not rusty at all. It's actually quite clean. So that's pretty cool. We'll just weld the patch panel in there and be done with it. Time to make some patch panels. And because Jeff is a dyed-in-the-wool Nissan man, I'm gonna fit his car with Toyota metal. Jafffa Adventures, Toyota-izing the world, one patch panel at a time. Now because this patch panel is such a funky shape, I am going to use a bit of paper to try and trace out its outline. There we go. One patch panel. Maybe I'll just use a bit of paper and bog, hey Jeff? Put it on my patch panel, trace it, cut it out, weld her in. There she be. Okay, I got my patch panel cut and I've got this magnet just holding it in place, and I'm going to just tack that there to hold it in place. Then I'll get this magnet out of the road. The reason I'm not a big fan of using these magnets is because the magnetic field funks with your arc, but it is good for holding things temporarily while you can get a little spot weld on them. That part of the patch panel is dead flush, as is that. That one is recessed. So I'm going to tack it here, and I'm going to take my pick and I'm going to bend it out so that this edge is flush. That's now flush there. That's good there, and it's good there. Okay, let's tack this sucker in. Alright, that patch panel is nice and flush all around the perimeter. I'll let that cool, and then once it cools, I'll just go back here and continue to spot weld this all in until she's completely filled in. While that's cooling, I'll go up to the panel on the roof and I'll start that one. See you boys and girls back when that's all finished. So I got my patch panels welded up. There's the one on the door pillar. There's the one up on the roof. I had a couple of small holes in the floor which I welded up. A couple here, a couple over here. Ground those smooth. I obviously still got to make a patch panel for that sucker. And she's rotted out here as well. So that's yet to come. There's a hole here in the sill which I patched up. There was a hole here in the guard which I patched up. And interestingly enough, when I ground this down, there's some bog on this guard and on this sill. So this car certainly had some body work done to it, but it's a pretty good job. She's pretty straight. Alrighty, that's it. My brain is pretty much fried. Time to go challenge some brain cells with a couple of beers. I'll see you in the morning. Matt's on his way over at the moment. He's going to start some of the mechanical work on this little beastie. And I'm going to work on patching this hole in the floor. Now before I do that, I'm going to get this rubber grommet out of here because that is going to melt down. Oh, that's crusty. So in making a patch panel for this hole, I will first of all mark out what I'm going to cut out. Sort of how far I need to get to fresh metal. And the good news is that there is actually some fresh metal in here. I hear a ZD30 pulling up. That would be Matthew. Matt's here, pulling off the rocker cover. So what are you actually doing, mate? Just the tappets? Is that
We're going to check the tappets. We're going to replace the rocker cover gasket because, as you can see, it's had a leak.
Hey, there we are.
And I think it's been. We're going to.
Look at the snot on that, mate.
There's not even a gasket there. It's just snotted all the way around.
We got John here. What are you doing, John?
Giving this a bit of a buff up so we can Make it look pretty again.
Yeah, yeah. Just get sanding it with a bit of 400 so that the paint will bite into it, hey?
That's correct, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. What you doing there, Matthew?
I can't remember what the tappet setting was, so I can't understand old mate. But I'm hoping I can read his feeler gauge. Yep. 8 and 10.
8
Got
and
it.
10. I love it. That's a YouTube creator watching a YouTube creator to fix an engine. I love it. All right, I've got my patch panel fabricated. I'm going to weld that in now. Well, what have you found so far, Matt?
Mate, tappets are pretty good. I've just rocked 4 to fire 1 and just set them there a little bit. You know, come up with probably half a thou. That's about it.
Yep.
So while I'm there, just from experience knowing that you can rock 4 fire 1, you can actually do the exhaust on 3 and the inlet on 2 at the same time.
Yep.
So then I'll wind it over and then I'll rock 1 to fire 4 so I can do those 2. Then I'll do that one and then I'll do that one.
Sweet.
And they're all done.
Nice.
Maybe a thou in it.
Yeah.
That.
And what we got, John's chiseling for gold here, are you, John?
Oh yeah, mate. I've been trying to find some. I don't think there's much in there.
It's been a lifetime of looking for gold.
Oh, we all have, yes. No, she's got a little bit of a cancer surface just in the corners here, but
Not too bad,
no,
eh?
not real bad. Just needs a bit of a rub out.
Bit of love, yeah, okay.
Great. It should be good.
Sweet. All right, Matt, I note that there's no orange goo around that anymore, hey?
No, that was the worst part of the job, actually. Getting rid of all the silicon.
In terms of the tappets, you had a couple that had closed in a bit, had you?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah.
Number 4 inlet was tight.
Yeah, right.
So that's all fixed now. New gasket. Got rid of all the snot.
Nice.
Sealed it up.
Looks good. And now what are you doing, mate?
I've just pulled the shroud off. I'm going to pull the fan off.
Yep.
Fan belt. And I'm going to do a timing belt. Hopefully there's no hidden surprises in here.
And what about yourself, John? What have you been up to? Looks like you got both scrub rails done, eh?
The 2 scrub rails done. Attacking the tree pusher over.
Yeah, the tree pusher over. That's in a little bit worse shape than the scrub bars, hey?
Yes, it needs a little bit more work on it.
What do you reckon, a wire brush on a,
probably
on a drill?
later on. That'll do that the last bit.
Yeah.
Just get around the main parts first.
Yep.
Yep. And make it look pretty again.
What's happening, brother?
Mate, I've just changed the cam seal,
Yep.
which was the one that was leaking because it's running from the top down.
Yeah, right.
That's the old one there. She is hard as hard.
Yeah.
I just touched it and it fell out. It was that hard.
Jesus.
New cam seal in. Cam and crank seals appear to be the same seal.
Oh, sweet. So,
So,
you're going to put a crank seal
I'm going to
on
put
it?
a crank seal in it too while I'm here. I've got all the front out of it.
Yep.
But it looks dry down there. You can see it's been running down the back from that cam seal.
It does look dry, doesn't it? Yeah.
If that's leaking, that one's just as hard. So
Yeah. Nice. And these are the covers we've got to clean up. And we've just done a time lapse on John on the bull bar, so we know where he's up to. And I have finished my patch panels in here. So that front one's done, just got to grind it down. That one there's finished, got to grind him down. And the odd random hole in the floor here and there I've welded up. So I'm sure the underside of the car at the moment looks like a porcupine because of the bits of MIG wire sticking through it. When I get it up on the hoist, I'll grind that off. But that's good.
mate, good choice. That crank seal's as hard as the cam seal.
Is it?
Yeah, look.
Holy shit.
That's the crank seal.
Jesus, yeah.
Bit of grease on the seal and Loctite on the outside and push him in.
Easy to pull that out, was it?
Yeah, mate, I just get the screwdriver and flick them. Because they're that hard, they've lost all their outside tension anyway.
Yep. And we have got a new tensioner for it as well, don't we?
Tensioner, yeah, new timing belt, which I've got in here.
Beautiful. She won't know herself.
I had a little bit of a
Panic attack?
moment. Because from memory, they come with a square and a round tooth belt. And it's a square, and thank God it is a square.
Yeah, right. What's your blasting that?
Just the front timing cover. It was a little bit rusty and the paint had started to flake, so I thought we'll give it a bit of a blast and then we'll give a coat of paint and it'll look $1 million.
Going still on the bull bar. Doing a bit of wire wheeling. What do we got happening there, John?
Plating the end of the chattel, mate, the bull bar.
Yeah, okay. Why are we doing
Just
that?
to pretty it up, make it look a bit,
Make it look a bit
bland with it open.
Yep. Looks heaps better. Now, all you YouTubers, scrutinize that weld because a bloody boilie did that.
Put down a blind boil.
A blind boilie.
In-depth boiling.
Pay Matthew a visit, see what's happening over here. What do we got?
Together, mate.
Yeah, okay,
Tommy
nice.
cover, a little bit of jam on it.
Yep.
Sandblasted, as you know, the front painted.
Right hand shifter.
He has a left-handed shifter. It is a piece of shit. It really is.
He's here winding away and it's going the wrong direction.
He's going. Mate, Andrew, that was an understatement.
I'm idle, 12:10.
That sounds a little bit better.
It does, doesn't it?
Throaty, what?
Now, let's have a look at our list. We've knocked a few things off. We got the timing belt done. We adjusted the rockers. Put the rocker cover gasket and seals on. And now it's time to move on to the rest of the list. 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I got a bit of a froggy voice because I had my retirement party last night, which was awesome. I'm not feeling too bad, a little dusty, but that's all right. We have about 6 guys coming over today, so that is going to be amazing because I'm going to be able to smash a lot of this stuff out. So I'm going to go around and start planning jobs for guys, and we'll wait for everybody to rock up. All right, I'm starting to throw a little bit of bog over these 2 rust patches that I did. Archman's pulling the exhaust off so that we can weld up the crack. Hamish is cleaning up some bolts and nuts and washers and shit that, what do they do? Affix the tray, do they, Hamish?
Yeah, sure.
And Jacob's outdoors.
Got the gurney going.
Doing a bit of gurneying and cleaning the underside of the tray off.
Yeah, lots of grind, lots of mud.
Nice. I've also got the bull bar up here, all cleaned down with wax and grease remover, and she will be ready to hit with a coat of high build primer, just to try and fill in some of these little imperfections on the surface of the bar. Ah, nice work, Arch.
No holes.
No holes. Hey. And you got a little bit more in another spot to do, did you say?
Rotate.
Ah, yeah, I see.
Both sides, just too much stress in it.
Yep. Jacob's still powering away. Hey, it's coming up though, mate.
Yeah, no, it's coming up pretty good.
Yeah. I got my first coat of bog sanded down. I'll put some skim coat on top of that before we hit it with high build primer. And poor Hamish is still stuck on the wheel.
It's gonna be a long day.
Lots of bolts. So Cody's now joined us. What are you doing, Code?
Just taping up these headrests,
Yeah.
ready for some fresh paint on the rear.
Yeah, okay, cool. Hamish, you're still still on the bolts, are you?
Yeah, just throwing a bit of WD-40 on them so that they actually work.
Yeah, okay. What are you working on, John?
Hi there, Terry. Working on the front grill of the Suzuki. Got a bit of a crack in the front here.
Ah, yeah?
Just fiberglassing up, give it a bit of strength.
Yeah, good stuff. Got a decent sized hole in the floor in the passenger footwell that Matthew has discovered.
Weld a little patch panel in there and well, I'm gonna put the grommet back in, you won't even know.
Bob's your uncle. Good stuff. Archman's still exhausting, so he's got it all welded up now and he's just refitting it back up to the car.
And a minor leak, I'll just have to readjust.
Nice. I've sprayed the bull bar in high build primer, and I've also sprayed a couple of those repair spots on the car in a bit of primer as well. Arch has prepared a bit of a spread. Well, I got dreamy chalk chip cookies, mini double chalk muffins, cinnamon donuts, some snakes. Well, we've just about destroyed Arch's morning smoko. Pretty bloody good dent in it anyway.
I think Jacob ate most of it.
What the hell?
Anyway,
So Jacob, you're sanding that, is that right?
That's right, sand it and
Sand-
then get some metal polish on it afterwards.
Yep, and bring that up. That'll look bloody marvelous. What's Jonathan doing? He's
Taping up the door,
taping up the doors. Good stuff.
just the inner skin.
Yep. Man's got the hole. I'm starting to tape the back window. All right, Jacob is on tray polishing duty at the moment, and it's looking bloody awesome. Check out the shine on that. So to get to there, mate, so
That's what it did look like.
This is the surface we're starting with.
Yep.
And you've had to sand that with 400 grit?
Yep. That's what it looked after we sanded it.
Okay, there's your 400, yeah.
Yep. And then this is what it looks like when we did a bit of polish.
And what polishing compound are you using to bring that up, mate? Oh, yeah, just the old autosol metal polish. Yeah.
Yep. That'll do the
Nice.
job.
It's looking really good, mate.
Yeah.
A lot of work, but
It'll be worth
it'll be worth it. Jacob's restored the spare tire carrier here as well. Those scrub bars are ready to paint. Just waiting for the high build primer to flash off so that we can sand this bull bar down. It's not quite ready yet, still a little green. John's got the doors, you got the door cards off. He's doing a little bit of panel beating.
Yeah, done the other side. It's all ready.
Yeah, nice.
Now just tidying up the side.
I've taped up the front windscreen. I haven't covered the glass yet because we need to move it in and out yet. But the back windscreen is all taped up. That's ready to paint. Arch has been working on this rear valance.
Got to weld this little bracket back on.
Oh yeah, she's broken off, has she?
Yeah, it's vibrated loose, so we'll weld that back on.
And will that still allow us to take this off for paint?
To go and just drop it back on.
Yeah, okay.
Pull the wires out, pull the lights out of it.
Yep, I see.
Add it back in place with the bolts just to hold it in, so
Gotcha.
bracket in the right place. And take it
Nice.
off and clean it up. We can paint.
Matt is still filling some holes here in the cab. And yep, I just looked at that. That was great.
Sucked in.
Cody is taping up these headrests and cleaning up the metals, getting them all ready for some black paint.
Nearly done.
Very nice, mate. Yes, Hamish is buffing up these window brackets, which go across the back windscreen so you don't smash your windscreen when you're throwing your shopping into the back of this thing. Hey, this is looking all right, boys. Not bad at all. Yeah, very nice. Stuck to the same script, have you, Jacob? Just sand and then autosol? Full bar's all been sanded down now, so that's ready for a coat. John's working on the other door.
Yeah.
Cleaning it up. Door number 1 is done. Taped up and ready to go. Matt and Arch are blackjacking. Arch had some special stuff that I don't know, where'd you get that stuff, Arch?
One of the panel swaps.
Yeah, right.
I
So,
used it to paint my auxiliary tank before I fitted it.
yeah, right.
Like a bitumen sort of stuff.
So Arch hit the chassis, the majority of the chassis with that, and they're just going over with a couple of cans of the blackjack just to hit any spots that we might have missed. I'm glad that we covered that cab up far out. Well, what do we got? It's 2:30 in the hour. What time do we start? 7? Body deadener, front guards, and under cab.
Done.
Tick. Rust repairs.
Done.
Done. Tick. Chassis under tray, body deadener.
Done.
Tick. Coolant hose.
Done.
Done. Tow bar paint. Done. New mud flaps front and rear. Clark rubber. Yeah, John, you made them, didn't you?
1/6 done.
Yeah. Well, the crack exhaust.
Done.
Done. I got a really shitty job for somebody if they want it. How do the roof inside?
What are we going to do? Scrape it?
Wire wheel. Getting on the roof with the wire wheel, cleaning her up, and we'll spray that with a bit of black. And Arch has got the big gun. There's Maddie's 69 XW, which we painted a couple of years back here at the shed. We might do a video on that one at some point in the future. If you'd like to see that, let me know.
What you doing?
Mate, I am hitting this bull bar and the scrub rails and some miscellaneous pieces that you cleaned up with this chassis black.
Nice. Looks good. Laying down well.
It is laying down well. It's a bit breezy, but... It's the following morning and all of these black pieces should be dry. So what I'll do is I'll slowly pull them off, set them over onto the restored bits table, and we'll move on from there.